I say, here at Kajun Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it.
I say, this is Johnny's place, where you can have it for no problem. I got the dollars.
Fixed income, no credit, back credit. Here at Cajun Roots Reseller, that's no problem.
Let them have it.
I've got my dollars and I sit in my best offer.
We say, yes. See the special man. The easiest man on YouTube.
You got the dollars? We got the offer? Let them have it with no problem. Hello, everyone, and welcome on this, what they call Taco Tuesday. How's everybody doing this morning? Let's see who's in the chat this morning. Mr. Steven, hello, good morning, and welcome. Mr. Jimmy, Miss Little Q, how are y'all doing this morning? Miss Rachel, hello. I finally clicked the Frankie and Johnny commercial link in this morning. Thank you. That's where basically I got it from. So it is an actual furniture store that was popular back in the day in Louisiana, actually in New Orleans, right outside of the French Quarter. And that's where I got it from because I grew up there and it was a great commercial. So thank you for watching it. And also Wendy, hello, good morning and welcome. Kathy, hello, good morning and welcome. Today's guest, by the way, is someone that everybody gets confused with someone else. He has a similar name of another YouTuber, but again, I don't get him confused. I did it first, but I know who their difference are in their title of their YouTube channel and their personality. But without further ado, I want to say hello and also welcome to Two Hip Chicks. Our guest today is Philly Picker himself, and his name is Joe, not Paul.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing this morning? How's the weather in your area?
It's not bad. It's hot. It's been hot the last 2 days, so it's going to be hot again today.
Ouch. Well, for those who may not know, there is a few people in here that we have in the chat, but not too many just yet. But again, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. And what I'll do is at this time, I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat, which will be your YouTube channel. And that way, if any of those who may not be subscribed to you, can go check out your channel. So talk a little bit about what you do with your channel and what platforms you sell on.
Okay. Hey, everybody. My name's Joe. I go by Philly Picker on YouTube. Like Johnny said, I get confused with Paul, the Philly Flipper, a lot. But I'm a part-time reseller based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where 90% of what I sell is on eBay. I do sell a little bit on Facebook Marketplace and a very tiny bit on Mercari. But I do it part-time, and I have a YouTube channel. I started in October of 2019, and so that's basically it.
Wow, you started right before I did.
Yeah,
because I started in November of 2019.
Yeah, I think me, you, like Dan, Art Vandelay, all started like around the same time. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I did put the link in the chat, and it is pinned at the top of the chat. So if you have not checked out his channel, there's his link. Let me see something here. True Radities. Hello, good morning, and welcome. I hope I said your name right. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Hello, Danica, Lady Luck Junk. How are you doing this morning?
Hey,
Good to see you. Rachel says she just subbed to you. Awesome.
Thank you, Rachel.
So what got you started? And we'll just do some basic questions until people may ask in the chat. What got you started on eBay? What got you started on reselling?
I basically was when I was younger, I was like one of those kids that would go to like the Foot Locker or the any other sneaker store like on Saturday mornings and get the newest release of Jordans or whatever. I would always try to get 2 pairs of shoes. I would get one for myself that I was always into sneakers. I would always try to get 1 pair for myself and then get another pair to resell. And I would just sell it to like friends of mine, some people that couldn't get out to, get that pair of sneakers. So I'd always try to get, 2 pairs, basically to sell one to pay for the, my pair that I bought.
Right.
And then eventually a consignment shop opened up here in Philadelphia. It was called Soul Control. And basically that's what they did. So I would go to get sneakers at Foot Locker, get the extra pair, and I would just take it right to the store. And that store would sell it on consignment. So that went on for a couple of years. And, I would, sell 4 pairs a month, I would just, and then that store eventually closed. Before they closed, they called everybody down to get their inventory, any inventory that you had left there, come down and pick it up. And that's what I did while waiting in line, to pick up our sneakers. There was tons of other people that were there, and they started talking about what are they going to do next and how are they going to sell them. I started a little bit of listing them on Craigslist after that. And, it just was, a lot of people wouldn't show up when they were supposed to. That kind of was annoying about it,
Right.
And a lot of people were talking eBay. And I decided I always had an eBay account. Like I would buy from eBay, different things. And I decided let's try it out. Let's sell it. So I did start off with sneakers, and then I started off with stuff that I just had around the house. And then I eventually started going to thrift stores and yard sales, garage sales, things like that. And, it came into, the last 2 years, I would say, I really started, really focusing on it, like treating it more as a business than it was as just, I would be into it for a couple months, and then I would, leave it alone for a couple months and then list some things. But I'd say basically the last 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years, I've taken it more serious, where I've gotten an eBay store and things like that.
Rat Stash says, I don't seem to have luck with shoes and clothes. I love all the tips you have given me in the past year. Thank you.
Oh, awesome.
Bobby, hello and good morning and welcome. Miss Jennifer, hello, good morning and welcome. DC Sales, La Vida. Everybody's saying hello. Blood, Sweat, and Sales. How are you doing, Leroy? Good to
Leroy.
see you. So do you basically sell majority of your items that you're selling are always either shoes or clothing, or do you branch out into other hard goods?
No, I do. My death pile consists of clothes, mostly clothes. Clothes have been one of those things. Shoes are a little bit more easier for me to deal with. Right now I only buy shoes that are like, less of a project. They don't take a long time to clean. They're pretty, decent shape when I already pick them up. There are some shoes that I have to wipe down and, clean a little bit, but I'm not into, buying new laces for them, really cleaning the shoes and stuff like that. With being part-time, I don't have a lot of time to do that. So I kind of focus on shoes that I do pick up that are in really good condition. And then the clothing part of it is I keep telling myself that I'm going to get out of clothing. I don't want to do any more clothing because I don't enjoy listing it. I feel like that part of eBay feels like a job where I have to lay everything out. I have to measure everything. Sometimes the lighting doesn't match the pictures doesn't match what the actual color is. And I ran into some problems not problems, but returns and stuff like that. But every time I say that I'm getting out of the clothing, selling clothing, I end up selling something that I had listed for a while, and I made some good profit on it. So it's always hard for me to pass that up when I do find it, because it is such a, I think you can find clothing everywhere. Whatever thrift store you go in, there's always an abundance amount of clothing. Whatever, garage sale or flea market, there's always somebody there that, dumps a pile of clothes out, on a tarp, and you can pick through the thing. So it's always readily available. So that's what, brings me back into into doing it, but I really don't enjoy the clothing part of eBay.
You know, even though you're saying that, I hear that a lot on some of the other YouTube creators who are doing eBay or reselling online, and they say the same thing. But then you see them sourcing, and what's the first thing they grab? Clothing.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, it is once everything with my clothing. I usually just when I finally do take the pictures and measurements and all, I bag it up and put it in a separate bin or whatever. It's just so easy to ship. Also, you're not looking for bubble wrap. You're not looking for certain size boxes. You usually ship clothing in poly bag, and I have them. It's just so easy to do it. So I think that's why it's so hard to give up on it altogether.
Right. If you have any questions for Joe, go ahead and put them in the chat. What is the best? And I'm trying to get maybe like a brand or your best flip on shoes that you've ever done. What was your best flip?
I would say a couple pair of rare Air Jordans that I was able to pick up. Now, when I said earlier with going to like Foot Locker and waiting in line in the morning and all, they don't do that anymore. It's basically just on, you buy everything online.
Right.
I use the sneaker app that is through Nike, and sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it's just a lottery. You log on there and you pick your size shoe that you want, and sometimes you get them and sometimes you don't. But recently, I've gotten a few pairs of like Jordan 1s that are really sought after, and I was able to basically list them before I even got them. List them before they even arrived, because you're ordering them from Nike. They usually take about 5 days to get here. And what I would do is, like, on Saturday, once I paid for it and I got the confirmation email, I would just list them on eBay that I had them. I would use the stock photos. I know a lot of times that people can run into problems with that, but usually by the time I got them, like on Wednesday or Thursday, they were already sold. And I would just put on the description that I'm awaiting the item from eBay. From Nike. Once they arrive, I will ship them out if they sell beforehand. So that's what I do, and I extend on those listings. I would extend the handling time out to like 5 days. So they would always come. I haven't ran into a problem. It is a little bit of a gamble because something can happen. They can arrive damaged, and then I would have to cancel the order. But it's almost like it's like quick money. I mean, they would sell before I even got them.
Right.
But that's only on certain pairs of shoes that were, more sought after, and they were always Jordans. But I look for Jordans when I go out. I look for, Yeezys, Adidas Yeezys that, but I like On Cloud. They seem to sell as soon as you get them. No Bull, shoes. They seem to sell, right away. Last few weeks, I picked up some Doc Marten shoes, and they, Doc Marten boots, I should say, and they seem to sell well. So
now, real quick before I ask Paul's question, the app that you're using, is it something that's free or that you have to pay for that app?
No, it's a free app. It's Nike's. It's called Sneakers app, and I use it on my iPhone. And they release at 10 o'clock every week. Sometimes during the week too, but it's mostly every week on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. They drop the latest shoes that come out.
Oh,
and
okay.
Usually, in that app, they'll tell you like a few days prior, what shoes are coming out for the weekend. You can do a little bit of research because a lot of times those shoes will end up on eBay beforehand.
Right.
And if I see something that, Jordans, I think are up to $200 now, $180 retail, but they're selling for $400, $450, and it's so quick. It's like, you're getting your money back within a few days. So I don't mind paying up for items. And that's just not with sneakers too. I'll pay up for anything if it's a fast mover.
Right. Now, Paul has a question. How does it make you feel inside when people call you Paul and thinking that you're a Philly flipper?
I've gotten used to it. I sometimes have met new friends because of this. They think that they're talking to Paul.
Right.
I've had conversations with people on Instagram and Facebook, Messenger, and things like that, where we've had a conversation for a half hour, and then finally I'll say something. The kids, I'm going to get going. I got to put the kids to bed or something like that. And then the next question is, oh, we had no idea you had kids. And right there, I know that they're thinking they're talking to Paul, or, I say, oh, I'm going to be heading off to work or something like that. And they're like, oh, you're not full time anymore. And then I automatically know that they're talking about Paul.
Right. That's pretty funny though.
Yeah. But I've met some people. I've gotten some, a few messages when Paul does his auctions and stuff like that. People have reached out to me on Instagram saying that they're going to pay their invoice tomorrow, or can you ship this to them? So I just forward all those messages to Paul, and he pays me for being his secretary.
Oh, that's awesome. Joe's Paul's just mentioned. He says, Joe, mentioning all those shoes I can't afford.
Well, he's a size like
I think
shoe, so I think
16 or 18, something like that. Question: what is your favorite piece in your background on the wall?
I'm a huge fan of the horror, horror movies. So,
oh wow,
Michael Myers was my favorite. But that other, where's he at? Leatherface, the other way.
Mask right there.
Yeah, Leatherface right there. I picked that up a few weeks ago at the flea market. He's missing his chainsaw, so I'm on the lookout for that. Yes, Mike, that's the sneaker app that I use. Yeah, SNKRS.
Okay, I'll write that down so I don't forget.
Yeah, and you just and everything's already. You just pre-put, like, you pre-enter all your billing information, and so as soon as they become available, you check out, and your size is already selected. You can set up like your own profile for it. And
okay.
Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes I haven't really. It's probably been about 3 weeks since I've won a pair of shoes on there. But I try every week.
Right. Now, how long have you been actually, like you mentioned earlier, you do a little bit of Macari. How long have you been doing Macari, and are you actually active on there?
I wouldn't say that I'm active. What started me going into the Macari, selling on Macari, was that I picked up a few at a yard sale. I picked up a U.S. Post Office baseball cap and a bag, a mailman bag, that I picked up at a yard sale. And I listed the bag and I listed the hat. Well, the bag stayed up there. The hat was taken down by eBay right after, I listed it. Maybe a few hours after I listed, I got one of those emails saying that it's a prohibited item. You can't, it's government, uniforms or something like that. And so I wanted to figure out a way to sell it. I bought it. I didn't have much money into it, so it wasn't like it was something that I really had to sell, but I thought it was cool. It was an old vintage, post office hat. It had a patch on it. It was like a trucker hat type thing. It was pretty old. And I ended up listing it on Macari, and that's where I started listing all the items that I wasn't allowed to on eBay, like the P90X stuff. And then I eventually, the mail bag sold before eBay took it down. And then after it sold, I got another message from eBay saying that you're not allowed to sell that stuff. So that's the reason why I went over to Macari.
Military uniforms you're not supposed to sell, and they're always selling it every day?
Not post office uniforms.
Oh, that's right. I heard about that one. Yeah. Who was that?
I think they do it with like UPS stuff, and and I guess so you don't wear it and access different buildings. And
well, again, that's why I think they said that. Glenn wants to know, what type of clothing do you source?
Right now I try to keep it to jeans. I usually keep it to Levi's 501 and 560 jeans. I learned that from Steve over at Pick and Roll and Dan over at Art Vandalay. So I kind of just scroll through the jeans section and just look for Levi's, and they're the two models of jeans that I really focus on. The last few jean buys that I've made weren't the best, because sometimes I don't check if they're hemmed or not. And one of these pair of jeans, it was like a size 42, 26, and they'll probably sit forever. They were hemmed. They were hemmed really high. So
wow.
They so you always got to look out at that is see
Right.
if they're altered in any way. And if they are, usually I leave them behind because people, even with the measurements, if they're not hemmed the right way, or if I'm not measuring it from where they want it to be measured, I've had some returns on that. But that's why I usually keep the 560 and the 501 jeans. I look for team sweatshirt, like sporting, like the season that either we're in or the upcoming season. So like a few weeks ago, I was trying to buy some, football, either jerseys or sweatshirts and things like that.
Right.
And regardless of what any team, I would pick them up.
Didn't realize that the channels were two different people until I saw Philly Flipper and Philly Picker live on the other night. I want to say real quick, congratulations to Nathaniel. The Lucky 7 auction finally hit 1,000 subs. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Let's see here. Most of the channel. Yeah, and that's what happened at first. A lot of people were getting confused. I even did it at the beginning where I kept saying, and then I realized, oh, it's Picker, not Flipper. So yeah, that's how I finally did the two, knowing that they're not the same. So yeah. So when you go sourcing, what is the one thing you tend to always drive yourself to, and I say drive to, but the go-to type of products that you go to the most when sourcing?
Shoes would be number one. I usually check out if I go to like a thrift store or whatever, the Goodwill near me has like a display case in the front where they put like a little bit more of their expensive items. So I always usually check that out first. That's where they'll usually put like their video games or, higher end stuff that, electronics like radios. And usually it's like if they do have Bose radios or something, they'll put them up there. Sony Walkmans they'll put up there. So I usually check that out first, the glass case. And then I usually go over to the shoe or sneaker section and try to find something over there. And I check for everything now. There's not anything that I don't sell. I try to keep an eye out for video games, but you don't always find video games when you go out there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I check out that front case. But if I'm at like a flea market or a yard sales, I usually look for sporting good equipment. Baseball bats, baseball gloves, softball bats and gloves. That stuff seems to sell year round for me. In 2020, with a lot of seasons being canceled and kids weren't playing, I found that a lot when they started opening up the yard sales again.
Yeah.
And flea markets. A lot of people had a lot of, equipment that their kids didn't use anymore. Maybe they didn't play that sport, or maybe they just grew out of it.
Right.
So I took advantage of that, and I bought a lot of that. I probably have like 20 baseball bats, 25 baseball bats for sale. And, I usually, whenever I do see a baseball bat or softball bat, I do look it up.
Now, do you tend to do any of the golf clubs?
I do have golf clubs. I just stick to like the brands that I know. I know there's tons of brands out there, but like Ping always seems to, sell well. So, or, that's usually what I look for, like the higher end brands or the more noticeable brands. I know there's like Cleveland brand and Wilson and all these other, I don't know, like looking across the room at a golf club, I won't be able to tell you if that was worth money or not.
Right.
I have to look that stuff up.
Right. So is there any item that you've ever bought that you regretted buying because you thought it would be, at the time, it was going to be a great flip, and then you turned around and it wasn't really what you thought it would be? And if so, what it was?
Yeah, a specific item I probably couldn't tell you. I have a garage full of bad buys that I either have to redonate or do a yard sale or something like that. But my biggest thing that I have is when I buy clothes, I swear I look over them. Like at the store, I'll hold them up, I'll lay them on the cart, I'll do everything. And then somehow between the checkout line and when I get home to list it, they get a stain on it or they get a rip or something like that. There's a lot of times that when I start listing clothes, I'm like, man, how did I miss this thing? You know what I mean? But yeah, I have a lot of bad buys. Lower when I first started, and this is important, I think that not that many people. I should go back to say that everything that I've learned about reselling, I've watched from different people on on YouTube.
Right.
None of my friends resell. None of my, my family was never into reselling anything else like that. So everything that I've learned was kind of like by trial and error or by watching, YouTube videos. And a lot of the things that I picked up when I first started, taking this more serious, as I say, is that I never checked through sell-through rate. So there are a lot of items that I picked up that, they were, they would be worth some money if they ever sold. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if they're only selling 3 or 4 of them in 90 days and there's 150 listed, it's not worth picking up. And back when I first started, I never looked at that. So I do have a lot of bad buys. When I say bad buys, are those kind of, items. And I have a lot of those items listed on eBay in my store that I have to eventually just take down and get rid of. So,
do you ever find yourself when you listed items and you find that they're not selling? Do you find that you go back and lower the price, or what do you do to get rid of some of your older stale inventory?
I used to run sales on sales on like older items. You know how you can filter it down to, so many days in your store. You can run a sale, and then a lot of times that still won't even help. I do take some items down that I, whenever I do have a little bit of free time, I'll go through I do like a bin system. I'm sure everybody else does too, or some sort of bin system where I list, after I list it in a custom SKU, I just put it in there. When I get a bin that's really full, I'll go through some of it and, take some items out that way. I should do like an inventory revamp, just go through everything in my store that it's been there. Cause I have some items that have been in my store for a year, you know what I mean? That I don't think would ever sell. I do go back and try to adjust the price and things like that. There are some things that I can probably adjust the price even lower because I don't remember what I bought it, have into them, or they came in like lots. I bought something, at a yard sale and, they bundled a bunch of stuff up together or they threw this in. So I have some items like that are in my store that shouldn't be in there. They're just taking up room and taking up space in the house, for storage.
So do you use the SKU system area in your listing that way because you can keep track of what you bought it for and maybe where you bought it at?
Yeah, I do that. In the beginning, I didn't. I do that now. Everything in my SKU is usually the box or, the bin that I put it in. In the parentheses, I usually what I paid for it. And then I put the date that I originally listed at, because a lot of times I go back also when items are listed, that are ready to expire. I'll end that listing and then relist them. But in the custom SKU, it will always have the original date that I listed it the first time.
Right. Now, whenever you do your listings, do you ever find that you're going to take and do you run like a specific type of sale? And if so, how often do you run a sale on your store?
I haven't run a sale in a long time. I've went over more to the promoting side of promoting my listings as opposed to running sales on them, and that has seemed to work for me. I do with promoting listings. I promote at trending and plus anywhere between 3 and 4%. Tommy Bernard, I had a conversation with him. I actually reached out to him and we had a conversation. He spent like an hour on the phone with me going over, the reasons of why he thinks that eBay's going this way. And I could tell you from experience, I could tell you I was a little hesitant to do it because I'm like, I'm giving up this money for these fees on top of the regular fees. And like I said, I was number one at saying like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it for a little bit over a month now. And I've had the best month that I ever had on eBay.
Yeah.
You are paying a little bit of extra money, but it does track you, even with the promoted plus the 3 or 4% that I'm doing on top of it. I've never paid over, like on average at the end of the month, it hasn't been more than 10%. It's been like 8.9 something percent.
Right.
And I would run 10% sales on everything on my store. So I'm not losing any money. You know what I mean? I'm actually just giving that extra money to eBay. And once I got that through my big head, I figured it was you know, a good idea to do. And I did it it's been a little bit over a month now. It's probably been like 6 weeks now that I've been doing it. And
Right.
I
saw Bobby said the same thing, that it worked for him as soon as he heard the information from Tommy, pushed him way up in his sales.
Yeah, and that's what it did. I mean, I've had, consistent, good weekends that, and I sold a lot of, and that was the other thing that, when I sat down and looked at the items that I was selling, I was actually selling older items that were in my store.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, it didn't matter, and I didn't reduce the price. I just promoted the listing. You know what I mean? It wasn't so, and I was selling items, like I said, that, I bought a lot of sunglasses, last summer, and they sat in my store for a year, and I started promoting them, and I sold at least 5 or 6 pairs of sunglasses in the last few weeks, and, which is good. And so it is helping out the older items. And, but that's what I usually stick to now, is just promoting. I haven't ran a sale in a long time.
So when you're doing your promo, because I've basically started doing that about 2 months ago, where I had trending. I did it for like a little while, and I didn't see no results. So then I came back down to like 2% or 3%, and then I just, not that long, let's say about 2 months ago, went back to the trending. Now, do you find in your percentage of your sales, how much of your percentage is actually coming from the promoted listings versus no promoted listings?
I won't be able to give you a number, but just in like last, trying to think of when I looked at it, is probably like, I think I sell like an additional 10 to 12 items a week that are promoted, that I take it as if they weren't promoted, they probably wouldn't have sold.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those extra 10 to 12, 15 items a week that I'm selling, I mean, I'm just happy to see them go. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with, giving that little bit of extra money.
Okay.
Now I'm sure people will debate whether, those items would have sold and things like that. Like, there are items that I don't promote, like fast moving items. I think like video games. There are some video games that I do promote, but I try to go through the store before I set the promoted listings, and I take out like the video games, some sneakers that I have that will sell anyway. So it does take a little bit of time to do it that way, where you go through and pick and choose what items that you want to sell.
Right.
But those extra items that I sell each week, I mean, it almost pays for itself.
Exactly.
I mean, I feel that they wouldn't have sold at that time if I didn't promote them. And
Yeah,
I could be totally wrong. I mean, they could sell. I mean, I could be totally wrong saying that.
Right.
Also.
But you just don't know.
For peace of mind, I look at it as that I'm not going to.
And I don't have a problem doing it, because I'm noticing that it's not really a big chunk of money when it comes to promoted listings. Money wise, when it comes to your fees, it's right about less or half of your fees to begin with.
Right.
So, but I'm also noticing that I'm having more sales of the promoted listings than not having promoted listing sales.
Right. And sometimes I think, like, there were times that I just started off, I'll promote it at 2%, 3%, and I saw no. I think that would turn me off in the beginning with the promoted listings, because I would promote it and then I wouldn't see any, results from that.
Right.
And then I would get crazy and just put like a 10% promoted on anything, and then not knowing what I was doing, I wasn't realizing. Okay, you put the 10% out there, but you were overpaying on some items. Yeah. Most of the items that you were promoting, you were overpaying on them, because sometimes they would be trending might be 3%, and I'm adding another 3%. That's only 6%. You know what I mean? I'm paying an extra 4% for nothing. You know what I mean? So that's what, when that was all explained to me, and like I said, Tommy took some time to explain everything to me, and which I appreciate. And once I got a better understanding from it, I thought it was a no-brainer to keep doing it.
Exactly. DC Sales says, I turned my Etsy store ads back on after a couple of years off. I didn't even know they had ads. I didn't even know anything about that one. No. It has increased my sales a little. I think it will keep them on throughout Q4. Sadly, it is pay per click. So hopefully it pays off. Huh. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, I don't sell on Etsy. I know she does with the license plates and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Promoted mine is over 50%. Promoted is mine. In mine is over 50%.
I think you might mean the 50% of the items that he's selling.
Right.
Yeah.
In increasing my prices to make room to higher promoted rates.
Yeah. I've done that too. I put a couple a couple extra dollars on some items.
Oh, I didn't know that. Cincinnati Picker and Richard is going to be on as the guest tonight on Nurse Flipper's channel tonight.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. What's the most expensive thing you have ever sold?
I'd say I actually made a video on it. It was one of my earlier videos. It's terrible. A cast iron, a Griswold cast iron. It was a hotel pan. It was huge. It was, I think it was like something like 65 pounds or something after it was all said and done. But it was a huge pot, and I sold it for $1,200 plus shipping. I think it was like
Wow.
maybe $60, $70 shipping I charged on it. And I sent it out FedEx. And even though it was like a cast iron pot, it was almost indestructible. You know, I was nervous the whole time until it showed up. And I shipped it to Florida, and the guy was extremely happy when he got it. So $1,200 sale was my biggest one.
That's awesome. So what do you mainly promote when you do sell on Mercari? What is the main thing you sell on Mercari?
It's just usually items that that I wasn't able to sell on eBay, and a few sneakers and things like that. I haven't did much cross posting on Mercari because my biggest thing is I would forget sometimes on the items that I would cross post that I had on eBay and Mercari and Facebook. I would forget wherever I sold them. I would forget to take them down in the from the other
platform?
the other platforms.
Yeah.
And it's happened a few times recently where I've sold some items mainly on Facebook. I would sell them on Facebook, and I would forget to take them off on eBay, and then they would sell on eBay a couple days later. So I spent some time going through my listings to get everything caught up. And the very next day, I found an item that I sold on eBay. I sold on eBay a couple of weeks ago, and it sold on Facebook Marketplace. So I had to cancel that order. So with a lot of times I would just forget to take them down, and it's just my fault. It's so I've kind of scaled back from doing that. I would list either one thing, like mainly Facebook Marketplace. If I listed something on Facebook Marketplace, I would just leave it there.
Right.
And most of the time, the majority of my items do get listed on eBay first.
Now, are you using a cross post listing type program, or are you doing it manually?
No, I just do it all myself.
And you didn't even write it down with whether the platforms you wrote it down on if it was multiples?
No. I should do that. I should even put that in the SKU. I know there are people that put it in the custom SKU. They just put like, Facebook or Mercari, whatever.
I'll just be afraid to forget.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing is that I just, like I said, time is my biggest factor. Is like when I get sales and I get items that I have to ship out, I end up just, coming down the basement here, getting them packed, getting them moved, get them to the post office or put them out front before it's usually a race to get my packages out front before the mailman comes. But
right. And then you forget to go take it off the other platform.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is great I'm not against at all,
right.
Cross listing or getting, I'm sure, it's great for everybody to do it. It's just me personally, sometimes I run into forgetting to do that. And then I know they penalize you once you get to a certain point of how many canceled listings you have and things like that. So it was never something that I don't want to get in trouble with any platform or whatever. Right. And I feel like I have something going good with eBay that I don't want to screw that up either. So
awesome. Now, when you're selling on Facebook, are you doing the in-town delivery, or are you also doing the shipping?
shipping,
Okay.
Facebook shipping.
And how's that been going for you on the Facebook side?
It's been going fine. Most of the items that I've sold on Facebook have been video games, and I haven't had any. I know there are stories out there where people have had problems with, getting paid and things like that. And I haven't had any problems with it, and knock on wood. So I'll continue to do it. Macari, I had a problem where I had to reach out to Dan and Mike, the January house. I had some shipping issues with Macari one time where I didn't weigh the package and it was over what it was. And with Macari, you pick already, like it was like a 3-pound item. I put it in as 2 pounds, and I had to do some, moving around. I couldn't figure out how to do it. I ended up paying for shipping again on it because I couldn't figure it out.
Wow.
Because it was, once again, it goes back to being my fault. It was a Jenga set. I didn't weigh the item. I just said, no way that's more than 2 pounds. And it was.
So you guessed at it.
Yeah. So, and that's my own fault. All my problems that I've had, or hiccups that I had along the way, they're all preventable,
Right.
They're all my fault of either forgetting to take something down or not weighing the package or, choosing the wrong shipping option or something like that.
Yeah. And that's another thing I'm noticing on with eBay right now. There is a lot of things. If you're choosing certain things, it'll even tell you at the end when you go to post it to make your item live on your listing. It'll tell you to go back and check something about the postage now because there's so many changes.
Yeah.
It seems like it's stopping you from the listing and letting you know, look, you got to go check this.
Yeah. So, look, but like you said, I don't have a problem with any of those platforms or anything else like that. Most of my hiccups have been because of me. So I'm not passing blame on any of them.
And that's one way you learn from your mistakes. Glams has a question reference. Is everyone moving a lot of the Velcro items to Macari? Just curious. I don't know why that would be happening, but I do know that for me, I don't use the word Velcro. Because my very first week, I listed a hat. It was a Dodge hat. And I put the word Velcro in it. They did pull it, but I talked to the eBay, and they even told me what to change. And then I realized that you can't use the word Velcro, but you can still sell it without using that word. You can use like hook and loop, adjustable, whatever, but you just can't use that word. So I'm not sure why you're asking that one. But again, Anybody has that answer? I don't.
I don't have too many items that have Velcro on it. So any of the items I did, I just used that hook and loop.
I'm glad she asked that question because that brings me to a thing that I've been wanting to say. I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels, whether they're live, auctions, whatever, and they're afraid to use the word Velcro. Velcro is not a bad word to say on YouTube. It's you just cannot use it in a listing for eBay. Right. So I just want to clarify that because that's been pretty funny in some of the videos I've been watching. So just in time flipping. Hello, welcome back. Good to see you. It's been a while, but thank you for coming back in. If you have any questions for Joe, put them in the chat. That way we can get them answered for you. Let's see here. Roman's in here.
What's up, Roman?
Let's see. Must have been practicing your finger scale skills as a kid. I'm not sure who that's about. Paul Antonelli. Hello, Paul. Good morning. Hello and welcome. It's like eBay is everyone's wife and Mercari is everybody's mistress. Yeah, that's about right. I just tuned in for something to listen to, but I will be noticing at the top of Joe's case. Joe, who is the guy to the left in the trunks? Looks like, no, I can't even pronounce that name. To the left of you.
Right.
It says
right
with trunks.
I guess that's it. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando.
With the trunks? The one at the end in the black trunks?
I think that's who he's talking about.
Paul, is that who you're talking about? I'll see in the chat when I get there. Let's see. I forgot to mention that Patrick Murphy said to light up the like a button. Yeah, I haven't seen him for he wasn't in the chat last night either for bingo. It's crazy that all the words that you know on eBay. Yeah, exactly. Garage sales today in my dream last night. Well, that's a good thing you're dreaming. Gotta go. Thank you so much, Lavita. Don't forget to fill out that form so I can send your prize to you from bingo last night. Oh, Lord Jesus, this thing just flew on me. Where are you going? Right here. Gotta go. Everybody saying hello and welcome. If you have any questions for Joe, go ahead and put it in the chat. Where are you running? Where you running? Yes, that's the one. Paul said yes. Perfecting Pearls. Hello, Julia. How are you doing? I was going to garage selling. I was helping you sell. So bizarre. Okay. That was definitely bizarre. Jennifer, we were talking about that your last night on your live and how amazing you are. Jennifer did a live last night? I didn't know that. I was in bed early anyway, so watching you from the background. Joe, how are you doing keeping up with the slackers?
He's talking about Dan and Mike. We do a show tomorrow on Wednesdays at 1:00, and Paul stops in every now and then and tells me that I got to keep Dan and Mike on track, because I'm the only one working. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Just in Time had a question. How the boots running, Cajun? Did you get to Brimfield this past weekend? That second part, no. But the first part, I actually have a second booth now, and it's actually a lockable case that I've been putting a lot of the high-end antique vintage jewelry and Fenton. A lot of Fenton went in there. So I already filled it up. I got to go tomorrow. What's today? Tuesday? I'm going to go by Thursday and do my weekly checkup. But it's been doing pretty good. I'm waiting to see what my end of the month last month was. I didn't get to do that yet. But yeah, it's doing pretty good. I have to fill it up almost every week, every other week at the most. Your hubby didn't even know. Stopped in live a few weeks ago. I'm sorry. Hello, selling sniper. Hello, good morning and welcome. No, just brought up her. Oh, okay. Well, I was lost on that one anyway. Miss Broomfield so much. I need to go. Yeah, we need to go check it out. I was kicked off of eBay years back because of selling CVS brand anti-diet. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Cajun Live, did a live last night and we were talking about how great Jennifer's dropping links. Oh, okay. I need to go check. That's right. I was going to watch that and I went to bed. I was so exhausted. Sales. If you have any questions for Joe, put them in the chat for us. Karen, hello, and welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, Karen.
Do you drive down to let people see what's in your cases? How does the transactions work? Well, I have a key that I give to the front desk, and I have my own key. So if anything that I have my first booth has 3 lockable cases, and then this one's one of those large floor standing side by side sliding doors. It has a lock on them as well. If you put any type of lockable items in your case in your booth, you have to give the keys a key to the front desk and they have it in the lock box. That way, if somebody says I'm looking for, which I have a sign saying, please ask for the key in my name with my booth initials, because we'll go by initials at our booth. They just have to get the key, and somebody from the desk or who's walking the floors will go and open it for them. That's how they do that at our antique mall. Let's see here. That's another thing I want to ask you. You were talking earlier about buying in bulks. Do you ever thought about doing bulk buys or online auction or those bulk buys or storage auctions?
Most of my bulk buys have come from like people that I've met. I did a huge DVD. I bought like 400 DVDs from somebody that I met at a yard sale. He was selling DVDs at his yard sale, and I just asked him if he had more, and he said, "Oh yeah, I have a ton more in a storage unit." So a couple of days later, I went back and bought like 400 DVDs from him. But that's it's never crossed my mind to buy any of those like pallets or those bulk inventory things. I just don't have the room for it, number one. And number two, I think it would take the fun out of, I enjoy going out there to the yard sales, garage sales, and flea markets and hunting down some treasure. That's what I enjoy. I think if I just ordered it online and it was delivered to the house, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. With this being part-time, I don't want it to feel that this is a job to me because I enjoy doing it. And, you know, I have 2 boys that are in Catholic school, and basically what I do is just sell to pay their tuition, and any money left over at the end, we take a few like family trips. I have 2 boys, like I said, they're 13 and 11, and I have a 2-year-old daughter. That's going to be, well, she's going to be 3 at the end of the month, on the 30th. So, so that's basically what motivates me to push me, that I pay their tuition and some money left over to do some fun things, whether it is a vacation or we'll go to a ball game or something like that. And so I don't want it to feel like a job. I don't want this to turn into, you know, a job where I have to, you know, work every day at it. Not that I'm saying that I don't work every day at it. I'm not saying that, but I just don't want it to be like a pressure of a job that I have to get things done.
Right. So in other words, now you have your own, like most of the resellers that have a connection, my guy.
Well, with the DVD guy, I have reached out, and he has reached out to me, and I bought some other things from him, but it's not consistent to be calling him my guy.
Right.
Yeah.
January House Mike wants to know, do you do any retail arbitrage?
I do very little bit of it. I did a lot more. I mean, other than the sneakers, I guess that's called online arbitrage, since I'm purchasing them online. Right. But besides from the sneakers, I do, like, whenever I'm at like Walmart going out to just do regular shopping or anything like that. I do check the clearance section. I do check for different items, or like a special video game or a special toy that came out. Just a few weeks ago, we were on vacation in North Carolina. We went to Myrtle Beach. We went to the outlets in Myrtle Beach, and Vineyard Vines was having a sale, and I bought a sweatshirt down there to resell online. It was it was the Carolina Panthers NFL sweatshirt. And I just picked that up. They were on clearance for $20. They only had one. I think it was they might have had more than one, but I think this was the only larger size they had. They might have had like smalls or whatever. So I just bought one that was a bigger size, and I ended up selling it for like $65. So that kind of retail arbitrage I do, but I don't go out of my way to do it anymore. Right. Like I don't do the Marshalls thing or whatever the other one is, Burlington and all that. I don't do that. But if I'm there for something else, shopping with the kids or something like that, I will look for other items.
Right. Now, do you tend to, good morning, Glenn, when you're going out resourcing or you're going out sourcing, do you ever find that you're picking up things that you decide you wanted to keep or use for your own use or your family's use when sourcing?
The second computer monitor that I have here is something that I picked up at a flea market. So yeah, there are items. My 2 sons, they're in the sneakers too. So if there are sneakers that I do pick up and they're they fit them, they end up usually getting first dibs on them. So there are items that I do pick up and I use for reselling.
Awesome.
I found some poly bubble mailers one time at a yard sale somebody was getting rid of. So I do keep an eye out for items that I pick up at different sales.
Just in time flipping wants to know, what is your favorite item to find or sell? Just came in.
My favorite item right now, it's like a double-edged sword. I like finding video games. I don't find them that often, but when I do find them, it usually takes me away from working, because when I do test them, I end up playing them. So, but right now I would say that I enjoy finding like the older video games, like the Nintendo and stuff like that. Older PlayStation games that I've, played. I was never really a gamer, but there are some games that I played when I was growing up, and things like that. They're probably my favorite items to find. Although it takes me away from work. It takes me away from actually listing them. And my kids enjoy that too. So if I come home with some games, they end up playing them, and
That was my next question. Do they enjoy playing those different types of games?
Yeah, they do. They enjoy playing like the I actually have it over here. I picked this up at a yard sale. This Game Boy.
Oh, it's a green one.
Yeah, it's a Game Boy Color. I picked it up at a yard sale last weekend, and they've been enjoy playing it. I actually found a Tetris game, and they never played with them. They've had no idea what, their handheld games are like the Switch or whatever.
Right.
It's fun. It's funny to me to see them play with these older games because the graphics on the new one is like you're playing on a TV. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They're really good graphics as opposed to playing Tetris on this where, you're moving some blocks around. So
I haven't played Tetris in so long.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you think the grading market on video games will crash? And what's your thought on it?
I never done it. I never sent a game into, my knowledge of any of these, what's going on in the graded video game market is just from watching different YouTube. People have had it in their channels or on their Instagram and stuff like that. So I have very limited knowledge on what's going on with that. I've never done it. I'm not opposed to doing it. I mean, I would think that, I'm in I have graded sports cards. So, and they're worth more money than, a card that's not graded. So I would assume that, if you get a sealed game or whatever at the right price and it's worthwhile to get it graded, I guess, get it graded. And I know they're different companies. One company's getting a bad rap right now. I don't know the details of it. I'm not taking any sides or anything like that, but I think anything graded that increases the value of something. I'm not opposed to doing it. If you get something that's $5, you get it graded and it comes back a good grade and it's worth, $600-$700. Well, yeah, I don't see any negative on doing it.
Yeah. And I've seen the same thing with some of the videos where they're showing their grading. But the biggest thing is before you send anything in to be graded and you feel that you want to get it graded, make sure you do the research. Because I've seen some videos this past weekend where Robert and I were watching some. And I was like, what's going on with this? Why is this happening? So I'm not going to get into details. You just have to go do your own research.
Yeah.
And it's amazing on the companies that are out there. So you got to watch and make sure you're not getting scammed. Make sure it's not some company that's trying to just rip you off. So do your homework before you send anything in to get graded, no matter what company it is. Good morning, Cameron. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hello. That's on any grading you do, no matter what it is. But be careful and do your research.
Yeah. I think if you do your research and you look up everything, and I mean, nowadays there's no problem looking up different, companies and, reviews of different companies. So if it's worthwhile, my biggest thing is if it's worthwhile, you get it at a good price and it costs you, I don't know what the prices are, but if it costs $100 to get it graded, and if it comes back within a decent grade and it's going to be worth $500, well, I think that investment's worth it. You know what I mean? It is a little bit of a gamble.
What it is. I think from what I'm hearing, it can be anywhere from $20 to $25 and up on grading. So
whatever it is, I mean, if it money wise, at the end of the day, if it makes sense to do it, and you have a rough estimate of what it might come back to, I think, at the end of the day, it comes down to dollars and cents. Is it going to be worth, you doing it or not?
Exactly. Lucky 7 wants to know, that's Nathaniel, what is your thought on the toy shortage everyone is talking about?
I don't know too much about it. I do hear like around Christmas time, like anything else is going to be, it seems like there's a shortage on everything now. Like if you go to a Target or a Walmart or any other store or whatever, even like the supermarket, it seems like the shelves are never full. So I think eventually, and whatever that shortage is for, I don't know exactly what it's for, whether it's manufacturing or having enough truck drivers to deliver, these items. I don't know what the underlying issue is.
Right.
I think, I think there is going to be some sort of shortage around the holiday time with toys, because last time I was at Walmart, the toy section wasn't even full.
Exactly. I know one of the things I've been thinking, and the way I'm thinking about this and the way I'm looking at it, even though you have a death pile or you have an anxiety pile or money pile, whatever you want to label it, if you have certain types of brand new sealed toys, this is the time you want to get them listed, because that may be the only way that people will be getting some type of things for their children is by online shopping, like eBay, Amazon, and all the other platforms. So if you have that kind of stuff sitting around, definitely start getting it listed, because you just never know what's going to sell.
Yeah.
With the shortage of what they're talking about, with the shortage of toys. Just in time flipping wants to know, what do you think is the key amount of hours invested a week for your resale business?
I don't know. It's tough to, like I said, I'm part-time, so I have a full-time job. So this isn't money that I'm depending on to live. You know what I mean? So it's different for me. You know, I have one goal to pay the kids' tuition off by the end of the year, you know, where none of that tuition money is coming out of the money I make from my real job.
Right.
And so, I mean, it all depends on what you're looking to get out of it. You know what I mean? If you're looking to, I think as long as you have some sort of goal, like if you have debt to pay off, you know, you want to get it to, so any free time that, if you're not full, I don't know if he or she is full time. I don't know who asked that question, but I don't know if they're full time or not. And, you know what I mean? If you are full time, you know what kind of money you're going to need at the end of the month to pay your bills or whatever. So I think whatever time it takes you to reach that goal will be the time that you have to put into it. I say most of my free time that I have after work and after the kids' sports and after all my kids are in sports now. Even my going to be 3-year-old is playing soccer on the weekends now. You know,
Oh, wow.
it's just running around. I mean, it's not soccer in any stretch of the
sports dad on the
imagination.
loose, huh?
Yeah, it's just packs of kids just running around after a ball.
Right.
So
I want to ask, just in time flipping, are you full-time reseller or part-time reseller? And do you have another job that you work on the side? And it depends on what you have in your goals.
yeah, I think goals is the big thing, or a big motivator in any business, whether it be reselling or any business that you might have, is what's your end result? What's your end goal?
Yeah.
Like I said, I most of my spare time, I don't have many hobbies. I mean, I used to play golf. I used to play softball. I used to play, I still get together and play golf every now and then with my brothers. But, most of my free time is put into either YouTube or reselling. At the moment, it's been more of on the reselling side because I don't know, but that's just, I use my free time to do this and I enjoy doing it. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
If I made it into a job or turned this into a job, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much to do.
And I'll look at it this way for me, and I always say this is not a job for me. To me, it's an adventure, because every day is a different day of something that you're going to do. But if you set your goals, and I'm only saying this as an example, say you're part-time and you need to make extra money for certain bills for the month, or you have a goal that you want to raise X amount of money to do X amount of whatever, whether it's a vacation or whatever your goals are. Try to set your goals to where if you need to make more and you have to have more hours put into it to get to that goal, then you need to adjust it according to what is your goal and what are you looking for in the near future. For me, I don't look at this as a job. And for me, from the time I wake up, I'm 2 o'clock in the morning, I have my first cup of coffee, I'm in here working. By the time I get to bed about 7:30, I'm done. But I guarantee you that whole time, besides all the other things I have to do, I am constantly thinking of what can I do next? What's my next goal? What do I want to do next? Like right now, my goal is to get to over 4,000 items listed by Q4. Now, I've always been keep on listing, but my problem is, which is a good thing to have, the more I list, the more I sell, the more I have to list again. So those are the things that I enjoy doing. So for me, it's not a job. So that's what you got to look at. Is this going to be a job that you have to do, something that you're going to regret later, or is it something you can enjoy and just have fun doing it? The toy shortage is mostly because of the tankers. Shipping costs are outrageous these days. I was just quoted $236 for a case from Japan that usually would have been $50. Ouch.
Wow. Well, going back to the last question about the amount of time, I just think that it's the goal that you have set to do it. And early in 2020, my wife and I and the family, we took a trip to Disney. So leading up to the Disney trip was already paid off, but leading up to that Disney trip that we took in January of 2020, November, December, and a little bit of January, I felt the need to hustle. You know what I mean? We were already taking this trip. Everything cost extra money in Disney. I know the kids wanted to do the Star Wars thing was just opened up. I know I wanted to make a lightsaber and a robot or whatever the other thing was down there. So I knew like there was going to be more expenses on there. So that's what motivated me to, the October, November, December is to get out there and hustle. Whether I was sourcing, it turned out to be I was hustling more on getting my stuff listed. You know what I mean? To find those items to, and that's what works for me. Hopefully I answered that question. I don't know. I think I don't specifically say this many hours, is, required for whatever.
Well, because some days you may want to do something and you don't feel like doing anything. So and this is my opinion for what I do. Now remember, we can all give out our opinions. It's what you take from it and maybe help you, but it may not be right or wrong. But this is just what we do to help run our business for what we are doing. And it is a business, but it's also having fun doing it at the same time and enjoying what you like doing. But for me, I just like going day by day. And if I know tomorrow I'm not doing anything or I have something planned, I'm going to knock out what I can today to cover for my goal tomorrow. And like Adam said, that's a very handsome Philly guy you have there, Johnny. And Perfected Pearl says, what is your goals for September? And this is where I was bringing to the next statement. For me, my goal, like I said, by October 1st, and I've been doing this since the end of July. So this is not something I just put into play. But by the end of July, I already had in my mind what I need to do. I already have my divisions by every day of what I need to do by the day. And everybody's different. But for me, I have a long-term goal. So I did that first. And then I broke it down by the month. And then I broke it down by the week. That way I can just focus on the smaller amount instead of the larger amount. And for me, it's doable because now I'm doing 27 listings a day just to make sure I get to, and it is a little bit more than I need to, but that's okay because if I have a bad day and I don't want to feel like doing anything, I'm okay because I'm already ahead of myself for my goal. That way I can have my goal covered by October 1st with no problem. So that's the way I look at goals. And what about for you with your goals?
My goals when it comes to eBay, I just want to list. I don't have like at the end of the month list 150 items or whatever, but basically I want to list 5 items a day. Now there are some days where I list 10 items one day. Like my oldest son was in a baseball tournament over the weekend. They had 4 games over the weekend. So there was no time to sit down here and get some stuff together, even, to take some pictures of things. So like Saturday and Sunday, I didn't list, but Friday night I made sure that I list 20 things. Just to keep up with, I knew I wasn't going to be able to list Saturday and Sunday. Even with Sunday with, football season and things like that, I try to do a little bit of extra, maybe, like last night I listed some, 10 items, I think yesterday or something like that, because tonight, both the kids have soccer practice. My wife has a home and school meeting. So I won't be sitting down, doing, the listing. So I listed like 10 or 12 items last night.
Right.
So that's what just keeps me motivated I want to hit that 150, items listed, at the end of the month. Now I try not to do it. There are some months where if I was, we were on vacation, I would take a week off. I wouldn't list anything. There are some other ways that I could have did. I could have taken some pictures with me and, prep for it that way. But I enjoy my time off too also. So I would just list more the next week. Or if I didn't hit that goal, I knew I had to just make sure I hit it the following month.
Right. Now, just in time, Flippin says, I was just asking the question, not for myself. I do have a full-time job.
Right.
He was just hoping that he didn't put any pressure on the question. No,
not at all.
No.
I was just hoping that I, was able to explain just,
exactly
what I do, and like Johnny said, it's just a suggestion or it's just our opinion or our suggestions that works for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've taken a little bit of everything from different people. Like you said, I talk to a lot of people on here. I'm good friends with Art Vandelay and January House, and we talk all the time about different strategies that Mike uses and Dan uses and I use. And, I picked up not only items to look out for, I picked up work habits from them too, on how to do certain things and, what
And again,
works.
every all in says it's fun employment. But think of it this way: it's what you put into it. It's what you're going to get out of it.
Right.
If you want to have fun with it, do it. But don't be. And again, we're not saying this to where you want to be serious about everything, because there are some times that you need to be a little serious. But there's something that you need to just have fun with and enjoy what you're doing, not making it feel like it's something you have to do. And not unless you're trying to reach a goal money wise, you're trying to pay off a bill or a student loan or get a new car, down payment for a house, whatever the case may be. You need to set your goals for you, and you're the only one that can do that. Let's see. Only because I'm really sending things to people all over the world. That's awesome. I can't tell you about Evan's breakfast. Some little kids how to resell. So with your boys, do they want to or like doing this with you when you go sourcing? Do they tend to want to do it as well?
They do. They enjoy coming with me to different places. But I think it's more or less because they end up getting something out of it. They'll end up picking up something. They'll end up, finding something that they want, and they end up doing it. But they do help me out a lot. They do help me with the shipping.
Awesome.
My oldest son will sit in front of the computer while I pack something. I'll just tell him what the measurements are, what the weight is. He'll be able to put it in, and he's picking up what, making sure that if I'm sending out a DVD or something, it goes medium L. If I'm, sending something under, a pound, it's first class. Like, he's picking up a little bit on that. They both really help me out with that. My youngest daughter, who's going to be 3, she likes just to come down here and play with anything and everything, whether it be.
I think I've only seen her in one of your videos. You were live doing something one night, and she happened to be with you.
Yeah, whether it be, she'll pick up a golf club down here. She's really into the guitars from Guitar Hero, and I have like 4 or 5 of them that I have to get cleaned up and listed, and I don't have a dongle to test, a couple of them. So they're sitting down here, and it never fails. When she comes down here, she picks up a Guitar Hero. So
all right, Cameron wants to know, can you show off your shirt and drop your link to buy your merch?
This is just a shirt that the kids got me for Father's Day. I don't have any merch.
Oh, okay.
Maybe one of these days I'll get around to doing it. I know we were talking about a shirt that I should get it. My name's not Paul shirt, Philly Picker, since everybody's gets me confused.
Yeah.
But, I don't have any merch out yet.
Adam says saving listings in your drafts file and either manually enter them when you can't work or pay a small fee, schedule them. That's true too.
Yeah. I mean, there are some times where I try to do that too. Usually, if I, with work or whatever, there are some times where I can't, get the pictures taken, or I just don't have the time, or sometimes just don't feel like doing it. You know what I mean? But a lot of times I try to have some sort of pictures in my phone to have, ready to where, if it's before a baseball game or something, I can do a couple listings. But another thing that has also helped me out is that if I'm sourcing something and I'm looking something up and I make the decision to buy it, like if I'm, I don't know, looking, I find this at a garage sale or whatever, I'll look it up, or I know I didn't have to look this particular one up, but if it's just something that I do look up, I'll end up saving that draft right away. So I don't have to go back and comp it again. I'll save the draft right away, determine the price that I'm going to use, and just change that. So when I do get home, I'll have that in my draft where all I do have to do is just take pictures of it. So that's helped me out a lot too. That saves me a lot of time, especially if I go to I do that more or less at a thrift store. You know what I mean? Because I have a little bit of more time, a little bit of more, privacy to go off to a corner and look some more items up. At a garage sale or flea market, I rarely look items up. because there's just not time to do it, you know.
Right.
But
But
that's just another trick or tip that
I like that. I never thought of doing that. And
Yeah.
I'm always comping stuff out when I'm outside but I've never thought about doing that. I like that idea. Just in Time asked, if you had a mutant power, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know. I think if I didn't need sleep, would be better. Would be better. It would definitely.
I'm
Yeah,
laughing
give
at
me
the
more time.
chat. January House says Joe never listens to me, just saying. So Paul says I don't blame him, Mike.
Yeah.
Poor
So
Mike.
if I didn't need to, if I'd be happy if I didn't need to sleep. I enjoy sleep, but if I didn't, I would have more time in the day to do things.
Right. Let's see here. I'm trying to get caught up in the chat, and the chat just keeps flying on me here. That's a good thing, though. Cameron talking to each other. Let's see. Glam says he went to see me too. Joe, how much is that Michael Myers mask?
The one over here, that one, the one down there.
The one down?
It's not for sale.
What's the mask above you?
Oh, this one up here. That one?
Yeah.
That's Pinhead. Right now, none of that stuff I have listed, so I don't know. Send me a message. Who was that, Roman?
I'm not sure. I'm lost where I was at.
Yeah, I think it was Roman that sent me.
Oh, where did it go?
I think it was Roman.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get back to where I was before the chat flies on me again. Let's see. I think I'm getting close to it here. Okay, yeah, that's where we were. Let's see. Oh, yeah, right here. Yeah, that was in a time. That was Roman. Yeah. All right, let me see here. Trying to see if I get caught up on some Patricks. I just meant to say Patrick. Everybody's dropping links. Also, don't forget to drop your link. January House, Mr. Mike is knocking on 1K. If y'all haven't checked out his channel, make sure you check out the channel. Heading to work. Take care. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. Recently started doing Joe. It is sure saving. Great tip. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even think about that. Are books are considered medium as long as there's no advertisement, correct?
Yeah, that's how I understand it. As long as it's no advertisement in it.
Mr. Ty's in here. I think everybody's just starting to say hello to each other. So here's a question. What sports would you consider you suck at, and what sports you shine at?
Golf, I would say I suck at. I enjoy playing it, but I don't play it enough to get any better at it. You know what I mean? I'll play it a few times over the summer, but I'm terrible at it. I always enjoy. I would consider myself a decent or an average baseball player that turned into a softball player. So I enjoy playing baseball and softball. So
I think just basically everybody, Roman, you already look like that. Just joking with you in the chat. All right. I see my numbers are going down a little bit, and I do not want to take too much longer of your time because, again, thank you so much for coming to the morning show. And I was very glad that you were able to come on and be part of the morning show. Give us a few tips of what you think that if somebody in the chat say are thinking about going to reselling, or thinking about buying shoes to resell, or what would be some of the main pro tips that you would give someone just starting out thinking about what they would like to do, and then also talk about your channel and anything you do live. And I'll be right back because I have the Mother Nature's calling, so I'll be right back. But give everybody a little bit about your channel and some tips on what you would recommend somebody doing for the first time getting into this type of business.
Okay. I think if you're starting out with reselling, I think number one would be starting off with some of the items that you have already around your house to sell. I know that everybody's got items around their house that they don't want to that they don't use anymore, or they don't Chuck. They don't use anymore, and they do have some value. That's I would say with that, take some time to look at some what sold videos from other resellers. I think that's a lot of where I've learned on items to pick up. I've watched what sold videos. I enjoy watching what sold videos. I know they could be boring or redundant. That's most of the items I put out are what sold videos. I think that's what has helped me pick up some different, different items to look out for. What else with reselling? Got to go with shipping. Shipping's something that I think I still have trouble with, and you got to really. I think the only way to learn with shipping is by trial and error. Is just to do it. I still make mistakes with shipping. A few weeks ago, I had a problem with Macari, where I ended up losing some money on shipping. I still made money on the item, but you're going to do that. So it's just a little bit of a tuition that you pay to learn. What else could I say about reselling? YouTube's a whole other story, though. The thing with YouTube would just be to start it. That was my biggest thing when I first started. I didn't start. I made probably 5, 6, 7, 8 different videos before I even posted one of them. I kept deleting them, kept changing them. So just get in front of the camera and start. I think that would be the biggest thing with that. So what else we got in here? Anybody got any questions for me? I don't know. I can try to. What else is here? Also on my on the YouTube side of it, I do a working live listing hangout with Mike, the January house, who I think is going to be on this week again, and it's going to be on Johnny's show, I think Thursday. But we do it Wednesdays at 1:00 Eastern on my channel. It's Mike, the January house, and Art Vandalay. We come on for about 2 hours to just hang out, and we try to get some work done. I don't know. It's more or less a hangout for me and Dan. Mike does the most work, I think, out of all of us. So,
all right. Let's see. I'm catching up in the chat. I'm reading all these comments. Joe needs to stretch this out because of the nature. Let's see here. Thank you for the answering me. And we try to get everybody's questions answered so that way, we can cover whatever everybody's asking. How is your space how is your space so clean?
Oh, this is only this part of it. What you're seeing right here is the cleanest part of it. You saw on that side of, that side of the computer.
The part of the camera that doesn't show it.
Yes. You won't want to see that side. It's right. Basically, a lot of clothes. Well, that's what I did a couple weeks ago. I decided to take out all the clothing that I had to sell, that I had in different piles, and I had some, a box or two. I decided to take it all out, and in my head, I was like, I'm going to take this whole entire week, and that's all I'm going to list as clothes. That lasted about a day. So now I have all these clothes out, that I separated into different piles, some jeans, some T-shirts, some hoodies and stuff like that. And that's what I have laying around here now. So.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to Joey, and the link is at the top in the blue box, there's his link to his YouTube channel. Check it out and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the shows that he does during the week and or on his channel for his videos that he puts out. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. If you want to come on and talk about your channel, promote your channel, you can come on and do that as well. So let me get that link. Where did I put it? Right here. We won't be able to be on too much longer because I have to be off here by 11. So if you want to come on, you're more than welcome to. I don't want to keep Joe too much longer because, again, I'm very appreciative that he was able to come on. And I don't want to take, and I know he's got things he has to do or whatever. But thank you so much for being here, by the way.
No problem.
So there's the link. I'm going to switch this out. And then I'm going to post his link in the chat if you haven't seen it yet or you missed it. Let's go ahead and copy and paste that. And there's his link again. You're more than welcome to come on and talk about your channel, promote your channel, whatever you'd like to do. Again, we want to make sure we're off here by 11 o'clock. So that's why I'm doing this now. But again, thank you so much, Joe, for being. It was very grateful for you to be here and also get to know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, this was great. I remember when you hit the 1K, you actually were there with Victoria and Nana Tink at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, when you got it. So that was pretty cool. Added you. There you go. So yeah, if you want to come on, there's the link. Also, don't forget this week on tomorrow, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern, we will be having the Hump Day auction, which is every Wednesday at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And then every other Friday, which we just did one this past Friday, but every other week we do the sale, buy it now, and auction. So if you want to be part of that, always reach out to me. But I think I'm pretty full for this week coming up on the 24th. So hello, Amy. Welcome. If you have not yet watched Joe, Mike, and Dan, every Wednesday, there's information about it. Yep. I thought Philly Picker was that tall you came. Have a great Taco Tuesday, y'all. Thank you, Johnny, and learn a lot, especially about shoes. And that's what's great about having different guests every day. You just never know what you're going to be able to learn from someone else. Good morning. Good morning, Judy May. I've been watching, just haven't had time to chat. I understand that. I just saw Utah bought and gone. Hello, good morning, and welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, what's going on? I was just watching his Instagram stories.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's looking to buy a house or a rental property, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about it. If you want to be part of the show in the morning, by the way, I am booking now. I'm booked this week, and I'm starting to book for next week. For some reason, I guess because of back to school and people having the shopping for school supplies and things like that. It's been sporadic. So if you want to be part of the morning show, I'd love to have you on. If you want to promote your channel, let's talk about your channel. You just never know. You may have something that you can pass on to others. Here is my link tree where it has all my link items that you can reach out to me, any social media, and also my affiliate links. So reach out to me and let me know, and I'll be glad to put you on the schedule. Just saw somebody else come in. Where did he go? Pat Simpson. Hey guys, hope all is well. I love watching Joe, Dan, and Mike on Wednesdays. They make me laugh so hard. That is awesome. And welcome. It's good to see you here. Also, don't forget, if you go to someone's link that's in the chat and you go to their channel and that word subscribe right at the bottom of that video to the right corner below the video, it says subscribe is in red. It means you're not subscribed. Change it to gray. And then make sure right next to it there's a notifications that you set all your notifications. And also go back and watch a video. Make a comment. Let them know that you watched it and where you found their channel. You know, that kind of helps them kind of get an idea of where they might have you've heard from them, about them. Let's see. I just found out today. Get the rental property. Fingers crossed. Awesome.
Mate, good luck.
Yeah. Listing show is fantastic. Yeah, I try to watch it every time I can between my morning show and my auction. So they're hilarious. Yeah, they are. And by the way, this Thursday, we're trying to get Mike to the 1K. And so he will be a guest this Thursday. Usually I don't tell people who will be on, but we can't resist the child. Mike's going to be on this Thursday. So come and check it out. And also, I have another one that's coming on, but I want to make sure he's going to show up before I say who it is. So, anywho, let's see. YouTube like to take and sub away. Yeah, they do that all the time. That's why you definitely go make a comment. I mean, do we know if it's for sure? I don't know. But I try to make sure, even if I watch a part of a video and put it in my watch list, that way I'll go back and make comments and make sure. Looking forward to it, Kate. Yes, me too. It's been a while you've been on, so yeah, we definitely got to get you back on here. I have somebody come in to help us too, so we'll see if that'll help. So make sure y'all share out videos too. That way others can come in and make sure, because like for Mike for Thursday, we're going to see how many we can get him onto his 1K. We've done it before to others, and so I'm sure we can at least get him closer, if not at 1K or over. So
yeah, he's almost there.
Yeah, I know. He's getting close. He was on it for a little bit yesterday when we were talking about it. That's why before he got off the show, I was like, what day you want?
Yeah.
Don't I got available the first.
And Mike deserves it. If you guys don't know
Yeah.
who Mike is, Mike's one of the hardest workers I know when it comes to eBay and YouTube. And, you know, he's got antique booths. He does a couple of days a week. He does the live auctions. And I actually stopped by his house on the way home from the reseller rally when he was starting his Sunday night auction with him and Johnny.
Yeah.
And just the setup that he has, the behind the scenes stuff, I can only imagine how much time it takes him to get those lots ready. And then he does a preview video of it, and he does a, you know, all that, like you said, I can only imagine after the auction where he's got to, you know, figure out that everybody paid, get all that shipping out. I can only imagine all the work that it does. But Mike is, like I said, he's one of the hardest workers that I know when it comes to reselling, and he deserves to be, you know, at 1,000. So if you're not sub to him, you know, make sure you are. He does have 2 channels. Like I said, he does his live auctions on one side, and then he has the January House regular channel that he does his like pre-recorded and like what sold videos. So yeah, Mike's a good guy.
And I have to bounce off of that for a minute because, like you were saying earlier, this is not just a job. You want to make sure that you have fun doing it. And that's one of the proofs right there where Mike will show you that he has fun doing what he does, and he just keeps on going. So that's just the proof of it right there. Let's see here. So how do we sign up to be here to promote your channel and business? I just put the link tree in. It's in all my descriptions of all my videos. You can reach out to me through email. All of that information is in every one of my videos descriptions below the video. You can reach out to me, and I have a link tree. I have email, social media. Just reach out to me, and I'll be glad to put you on one a day. Just let me know when. Let's see. Johnny buying a cam today. I'll get with you. Awesome. Let's see here. Agree, Jennifer is listing. Yeah, it is. Getting the 300, that's all. Yeah, it's hard, but when you get there, it's just a matter of just keeping at it, being consistent what you're doing. Just don't give up. You can slip him a 20 via PayPal, Mike.
No, I mean every word.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay me at all, Mike. You know.
That's right. You're right about that, though.
Yeah, and like I said, I've talked to Mike at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've talked to him at midnight. And he is still working or figuring out what he's going to do the next day. So
look, he said, no, it's 40. Let's see. Yes. Should be at 1K by now. He is. Yes, exactly. I was shocked when I didn't realize it yesterday when I think it was Jennifer. Somebody put it in the chat and it's like, no, it can't be. I thought he was already there. Yeah. Well, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get ready to end the show. If you want to come on for a little bit after the show, the link is going to be still at the top of the show in the chat. But we won't be able to stay too long. But again, I will have a little bit of time that we can talk behind the scenes, get to know Joe a little bit behind the scenes. And if you want to come on, you're more than welcome. The link is at the top. And like I said before, in each and every show, let me get this ready so I don't know where I'm at here. I got the wrong tab. There we go. Like I said before, in each and every show, love always. Love is always free. Please be kind to one another until we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and fabulous day. And until we meet again, later, peace out.
Take care, everybody.
And talk to you a little bit after the show.
Okay.